If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Come alive, wake up, sleeper. He is risen, and we are risen with him. I'm telling y'all, man, that song has been on my heart and mind all week. But anyway, good morning, everyone. It is June the 1st, 2023, and today the topic is Lest You Forget. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday. Mine was just fine. For those of you all that follow me on social media, you already probably have a sneak peek of the main thing I did yesterday. If not, your girl was in disabilities training at Mountain West. Yesterday, there was this amazing organization called Joni and Friends that came by and taught I guess you would say, like, it was the kids ministry. So it was like a preschool representative, the elementary representatives, well, I guess which was me, the lady over the kids organization, as well as the people that's over the students organization. So yeah, it was like pretty much all the kids representatives were there getting this disabilities training. And even though I feel like Mountain West has a lot of accommodations for people with disabilities, it definitely was eye-opening to see like other ways that, you know, the church could improve, as well as just all of us overall, like with the mentally and everything. And if you guys haven't heard of Joni and Friends, you guys should look it up. It's spelled like Joni, Joni, but they were letting us know that it was pronounced Johnny. And you know, the lady, Miss Johnny, has an amazing testimony and everything like that. I don't want to butcher it by trying to like tell you guys about the details and whatnot, so you guys can just look it up. Joni and Friends apparently is a nationwide, worldwide organization at this point. And yeah, amazing lady with an amazing testimony. And yeah, it was just very informative. So that's pretty much what I was doing yesterday morning, or pretty much all day really, because it was like from 9 to 3 or whatever. And so after that I came on home because I was tired, I guess just mentally tired and whatnot. But yeah, that was my day in a nutshell. That was the main stuff that I did yesterday. As for this morning, so I mean, with me coming back home and just kind of getting rest and whatnot, I ended up just kind of sleeping early, which made me wake up early last night. So I woke up around 12:02, and y'all know what I did. I made a note of that and everything like that. And then I was up for a while, and then I went back to sleep, and then woke up, I believe, at the sound of my alarm, the first alarm. But for whatever reason, I just felt led to just give it 30 more minutes and 30 more minutes and 30 more minutes. So ultimately, the next time I woke up, it was 6:30. So again, I made a note of that as well. I listened to the prayer meditation twice because I woke up at one of those points. When I woke up, I listened to it, and then I fell asleep on it and realized that, oh, I didn't fully listen to it. So then I listened to it again. Do I remember what my prayer meditation was about this morning? No, I do not. Because again, I think I ended up going back to sleep. So by the time I did wake back up at 6:30, y'all, you know, I did look up the verses. I looked up the Strong's Concordance. There was a few things that I thought about when I did that. But ultimately, I guess I just got led to just focus on the times, focus on the times that I woke up. So I decided to do that. I looked up the verses since around 12:02 as well as 6:30. I would say the verses that were for 12:02 kind of stood out to me more, because I felt like I only came across one verse when it came to 6:30. But eventually, once I started writing the verses down, I decided to focus on both. And then as I was writing the last verse, which was Matthew 6:30, the phrase "lest you forget" came into my heart and mind, and so that's where the topic came from today. And so let's get into it. The reason I sang that song earlier is because I feel like it kind of coincides with this conversation in a way as well. So let's see what the word has to say. So we got Isaiah 12:02. It says, "Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and know and not be afraid, for the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also is become my salvation." So this sounds like a nice little declaration. Someone says, no, look, the Lord is my salvation. This is where my trust is going to be. You know, I'm not going to be afraid, X, Y, and Z. Like, I think maybe we should all make this our prayer today. Hopefully we all can be as bold and strong to say this and everything like that. But I guess the interesting thing is these next verses that I came across kind of shifts the conversation in a way. But I feel like they kind of coincide too. So let me go ahead and share those. So we got Daniel 12:2. And it says, "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." I went deeper and looked up contempt, and what stood out to me the most is when I look up the biblical definition. And if I just in a nutshell describe that, it says worthy of despising. So I guess that kind of stood out to me in a way, because I know at some point after I woke back up after 12 last night, my husband came and talked to me about some stuff, and just some things that he was thinking about, like biblically, as well as like some interpretations and whatnot. And we might be disagreeing on some things, because I feel like, for example, that we need to take the Bible literally. And he was thinking like, when it comes to some of the end times prophecy, we just probably need to think not as literally. And I'm like, well, so we're kind of not say going back and forth in regards to arguing, but just, sharing our points of view and whatnot. And there may be something to what he's saying, as well. So I'm not negating what he's saying, but I still think it's wise to also consider that this could be at face value, what the words of the prophecy say. Like it could, like for example, the mark of the beast could literally be a mark on the hand and or the forehead. And to me, I don't think there's anything that denies that idea, just because I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of things in the Bible that are literal like that. But regardless of that part, at some point we were talking, and I was reminded of, basically the people that Jesus brought back to life, or at least the ones that are accounted for in the Bible. And I was telling him, that I thought it was very interesting that, because I guess he brought up the whole thing about, people probably didn't understand what he was saying when he said that, I'm going to build a temple back up, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I agree that they probably didn't understand fully what he was saying. But then I also believe that there were times where he literally said, at least according to the accounts of what I'm reading, he's literally like, I'm going to die, X, Y, and Z. And they just still, in their minds, didn't want to receive that information. And then when he did die, it was like they forgot about the miracles and the things that he had done, bringing people to life in the past. And like, it seems like somebody should have put two and two together to be like, you know what? He raised Lazarus from the dead. He raised that little girl, and he also raised his little boy. So why wouldn't he be able to raise himself? Unless they were just thinking that, he could only do it for other people and not himself. However people was thinking at that time, I can't, fully say, but I was reminded of that this morning as I was reading 12:02 in Daniel. But the interesting thing is I came across John 12:2, and this is what it says. It says, "There they made him supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him." So I found that to be very interesting as well, that after thinking about this whole concept of being raised from the dead, and that previous verse talking about dust of the earth would wait for everlasting life, and some for shame and everlasting contempt. I found it interesting that the next verse I came across was talking about Lazarus, and it was talking about after he was, had been raised from the dead. Apparently they had some type of dinner and whatnot. And like I said, I just found it to be interesting. I mean, and then we got into this. We got into Matthew 6:30, right? And this is what it says. It says, "Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?" And that's when "Lest You Forget" came into my heart and mind. Like, at the end of the day, again, like, I guess I'm sure we can look up verses that are centered around "Lest You Forget," and I did not do that, so y'all can add that to the Go Deeper section if you would like to go deeper or whatnot. I mean, there's a couple of other verses in there as well, but I guess what I'm receiving overall is just a nice little reminder that, God will and can take care of us. He can bring the dead things back to life. And yeah. So if we remind ourselves that this is the power he has and this is what he can do, then we can be as bold as that first verse there and say, hey, you know what? God is my salvation at the end of the day. I'm not going to be afraid. And he's my strength, my song, and all the things that first verse was saying. So I believe, now listen, I didn't know all of that was going to go together and coordinate the way it did, but I believe that's some good juice this morning. So I'm not going to be blowing your time and add nothing much else to that. I think it said what it said, and I hope that it encourages you and inspires you. Now, the Bible verse of today is Psalm 23, 1 and 2. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. But just a reminder that tomorrow is Friday, so we have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out at 7 p.m., and that is with Miss C.K. Collins. I believe that's her last name. I've been getting it wrong in my mind when I'm typing or whatever. I'm like, Rollins, Collins, I believe it is. C.K. is part of her name, but I don't remember the other part, so I might not be doing good with that. But basically, you guys can see her being shared on our social media and whatnot right now. An amazing lady with an amazing testimony. She's written a really cool book and whatnot as well. So y'all can check in and hear about her and learn about her tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the GSL Talk Show. But yes, I hope you all had a wonderful Thursday, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Before I let you go, I have to let you know that I am now a brand ambassador for BoldFaithCosmetics.com, where faith and beauty intersect. Friends, they have the awesome purpose of wanting to just bring inspiration through makeup. I think that is amazing, and I hope that you all check out their awesome lip colors and so much more. So visit BoldFaithCosmetics.com and use the coupon code MIRACLE for 15% off. That's MIRACLE for 15% off.